Hey, Professor, I'm Sahita Kupla. Today we are going to describe case study Titanic, and we are representing the group Predictive Data Analytics. We are 7 people in the team. So in the next slide, this is the Titanic dataset, which contains different type of columns, and in which they provide us the information of the humans that's available on the Titanic. Titanic is the most famous liner and it belongs to British peoples and it sinks in the North Atlantic Ocean. And in this data set, they provide us the humans information that's available on the Titanic liner and who's died and who's alive, their ages, sex, fare, ticket number, and so on. In the workflow stages, we have different phases, which is question or problem definition, acquire training and testing data, and wrangle, prepare, cleanse the data, analyze, identify patterns, and explore the data, visualize, report, and present the problem-solving steps, and final solution, supply or submit the results. In the next slide, I'm going to explain methodology. So methodology involves data understanding. In this phase, it initially starts with a collection of data and proceed to increase the closeness within the data to identify the data complexities to disclose the hidden information of the data. This phase involves various steps stated below. Collecting the initial data. The data is collected initially from different sources and to be analyzed to identify the bugs and to report primarily to eradicate the issues in the future applications and to avoid potential delays in this project. Exploring the data. This step involves in creating an exploration report by exploring the data using querying, visualization, and reporting that outlines into initial hypothesis. And verifying quality of data. These steps involves in the checking quality of data by examining and solving the mistakes in the data like spellings, values, missing attributes, and blank field, and giving the report on quality of data. Data preparation. This phase covers all things to construct the final data using different steps. Selection of cleaning the data. In this stage, the data should be cleaned by cleaning the unusual data and subsets from the dataset to improve the quality of data. Data construction. The construction of data involves in developing the new records by basing on the archived data and to form the algorithms to get the transformations. So here I'm going to explain data integrity. These steps involves in merging the multiple data to form the new records and tables for a business to combining fields from the source tables. Data formatting. In this step, the data will be modified by formatting the dataset by removing illegal characters from the data and to suitable for specific modeling tool. And now I'm going to explain modeling. These steps, including in the selecting of modeling techniques in order to applying to their parameters to generate the test design, creation, and assessments of models. It undergoes several steps. Selecting the modeling technique. In this task, the modeling technique will be selected in order to generate the work with some assumptions. Generating test design. In this step, the data model will be qualified and validated in order to remove the errors and quality measures for data mining models. The data will undergo empirical testing to determine the strength of the model by simply subtracting the data set into test set. Therefore, the model can predict the previous data in the future. Access model and business analytics will be combined to get the success criteria for the models in discovering the potential problems in this data. Evaluation. This step involves in evaluating the data thoroughly and reviewing the construction of the model to achieve the objective and determines the deficiency of model by testing the model and summarizes the terms in business success criteria. So in this step, we must decide to finish the project or to initiate the mining projects. Deployment. The application of live models in this organization decision-making process. It is complex as implementing a repeatable process across the enterprise. The key steps are stated. Planning of deployment. It deploys a strategy for development to deploy the data mining into the business to evaluate the results. And we have to monitor each and every step when we are using, very important for the success criteria of the business and organized. Thank you. From here on, one of my friends, he's going to explain. And from in the next slide, model, predict, and solve. We have different type of algorithms present in this machine learning or data analytics. Few I have mentioned in the below, but for this project, we are preferably taking logistic regression. From here on, one of my friend is going to explain. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, I'm going to discuss about dataset. The dataset comprises many type of columns that provides with information about the humans who are present on the Titanic. This is the Titanic dataset, which contains different type of columns and in which they provide us the information of the humans that the available on the Titanic. Titanic is the most famous liner and it belongs to the British people and it sinks North Atlantic Ocean. And in this dataset, they provide us with humans information that available on that Titanic liner and who is died and who alive their ages, sex, fate, ticket, no, and so on. The data set is divided into a testing and training. So it has qualitative data and quantitative data. We have to understand the statistics of the column, whether it is the qualitative data or quantitative data. So qualitative data is descriptive discovery and concept collected through a list of questions, interviews, or observations. Analyzing qualitative data allows up to evaluate ideas and interpret quantitative results like name, class of a student, and a gender. Quantitative data is defined as the value of data in form of calculations or numbers in which each data set has a unique value associated with it. These data contains any measurable information that can be used for mathematical calculations and statistical analysis so that practical conclusions can be made based on the statistical outcomes. Quantitative data is used to answer questions such as how many. These data can be verified and can be easily updated using mathematical technique like height, weight, and age. So the data set conditions like following columns, and it has like Excel sheet. So here the passenger is ID passenger like 1, 2, 3, 4. If the case is 0, it is survived. 1 not no. So if it has 0, it is no survived. If it has 1, survived. So P class, passenger class, first, second, third, and the name of the passenger, sex, gender of the passenger, age of the passenger, SIBSP, number of siblings or spouses abroad, patch, number of parents or children aboard, ticket number, fare of the ticket, cabin. So embarked, like port of embarkation, C equal to Cherbourg, Q equal to Queenstown, S equal to Southampton. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Pawan Apananga Kanjeti. In here I am going to discuss about importing libraries in case study about Python using Python. Now we need to set up the tools which we need, and in Python they are called libraries. However, we need to add pandas and seaborn, which Python is complete manipulation and analyze the visual in the data. In pandas, the open source library assists the Pythons and manipulating the analyzing data. Seaborn is a library Python uses to create a manipulating and data visualizations. And in Python, we are going to use the data analysis libraries to prepare the data functions for analysis, which you need to do. Here, the importing libraries: import pandas as PD, and import numpy as NP, and import randoms as RND. For visualization, we need to import the sequence as SNS, and we import the metaphor as PLT as import, and we import the mat in lines. And for machine learning, Python you add something you need to like in Python you usually have to add as something we need to import the libraries. This makes the lines codes unless the lengthy when you call the libraries. Next we need to add for tutorials and wait. Additionally we need to look in first 5 rows of the following commands below. And next the data is divided into testing and training. For testing we use PD Next, for testing, we use pandas.readers_csv for testing. For training, we use p.readers_csv. When we combine both, then the output will be obtained. And here is the particular output for the particular trains which we do the code. First we get the passengers how passenger. Next one, how many of the surveyed, and next is the class which you refined for him, and particular name of the person, and gender the person's particular gender, and age how old is the person, and next is about ESCG, next is about religious, next is about marriage, and next is about the ticket, and the price of about the ticket, and next about the cabin which is reserved for the ticket, and each class is used to book the train ticket. This is the particular output which you obtain from the particular persons which data is given from the output. Thank you.
Hi, Professor. This is Paul David. Today, I'm gonna explain about logistic regression. Logistic regression is a useful model to run early in the workflow. This kind of regression measures the relationship between the characteristic dependent variable, which is the feature, and one more independent variable's features by estimating the probabilities using a logistic function, which is a cumulative logistic distribution. So, the confidence score generated by this model based on our training data set and the testing data set. We can use logistic regression to validate our assumptions and decisions for future feature creating and complementing goals. Not only that, this can be done by calculating the coefficient of the features in a decision function. So positive coefficients increase the log odds of response and thus increasing the probability, and negative coefficients decrease the log odds of the response. If we go to the next slide, a typical example of a logistic regression, if you like take a credit card company wants to know whether the transaction amount and the credit score impact the probability of a given transaction being fraudulent or not. To understand the relationship between these two predictor variables and the probability of transaction being fraudulent, the company can perform this logistic regression and maybe find out whether the transaction is fraudulent or not. So here is the example as we are like studying the data, the case study of this Titanic, and here are the variables. These X and Y. This is a train data set, and we have the test data set as well. And these are the functions df.drop and df.drop, df.shape, the dot copy, and these are all the useful functions which we use in logistic regression to calculate the score. And this X train, Y train, and X test, Y test are given as the input to this log register or fit. And this particular and we X dot train and Y dot train, we are giving this variables as input to score function, and we are rounding it off to till 2. So we got like the score of 80.36. You can see that the different scores of the various. Let me show you those different scores. Search for table. Scores are. Yeah, here are the scores of different models. And the score given by the logistic regression is 80.36, and you can find it like they are like near and all compared to the other models. And coming to the next slide. Yeah, the correlation, this particular slide, from this slide, my friend 3 are gonna explain it.
Hello everyone, my name is Trinena and our team was discussing about the case study. In this, I'm discussing the topic about correlation. The statistical relation between two variables is known as correlation, and in the correlation we are using logistics regression to validate our assumption and decision for future creating and completing goals. This can be done by calculating the coefficient of the features in the decision functions. Mm, and we have different types in the correlations like positive correlation, neutral correlation, and negative correlation. In the positive correlation, the variables have same direction is known as positive correlation. In the negative correlations, the variables have different directions, like one variable is increasing and another variable is decreasing, is known as negative correlation. And then in the neutral correlation, we have like constant values for both the variables. The positive coefficient increases the log odds of the response, and it increases the probability, and the negative correlation coefficient decreases the log odds of the response, and the probability will be decreases. And this is the example of our correlation function in the correlation function, and these are the output for correlations. In this we are taking different features like sex, title, age, embarked, is alone, fair, A star class, PC class, and these are the correlations of our features. Yeah, in this we have like same value for title, age, embarked, is alone, fair, A star class, and PC class, and it's only the correlation was changed for the sex. Yeah, it is like the changing is known as the negative value. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Savita Sharma. Me and my team are going to do case study on Titanic. So my topic is about coefficients. In it, sex is highest positive coefficient, implying as the sex value increases, where sex value is determined by two characters, male and female. Male is 0, to female is 1, where the probability of survived is 1 increases the most. It is titled as second highest positive correlation. Inversely, as P class increases, probability of survived equals to 1 decreases the most. In this way, age class is a good artificial feature to model, as it has second highest negative correlation with survived. So next video presentation is model evaluation, which will be done by Biswant. Thank you.
Hello team, my name is Vishwant. Today I'm explaining about model evaluation. In this logistic recession, the model received 80.36 score, whereas we have other models such as where we got more, percentage of success. As we have selected logistic regression, we got only 80.36%. However, uh, here we can see logic registration where we got only 80.36, and however, in the other methods, we got more success ratio. Of support vector missions, we got 83.84, and for which is in a pattern recognition of k nearest neighbor algorithm, we got 84.76. In Gaussian naive Bayes, 72.28, and in prescription we got 78.0. For better results, we can use other um, evaluation methods for better success ratio. Better success rate. Thank you.